So initially what I do, you know, like in my home, I feed them. I don't use any poison at all. I have one of these on my level of my floor in my condo living where I live. It goes outside. Once a month, I open it up, look inside. Oh, it's empty. I put some honey in it. Once I put my dog's bone in there because my dog was fighting with the ants. It was covered with the ants. The bone was covered with ants. And you're like, argh. So I said, here's your bone. And I gave them to the ants, and they ate it right up. Inside the house, so that the ants, because remember I said the steps. First step's watch the ants, see where they're coming in.
First step is to watch.
Second step is you go buy one of these. You don't place it yet, and you buy one of this. It's called Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap.
I've seen this before.
Okay, it's a Castile soap. It's a safe soap. It's been around a long time. One of the things that's most toxic to ants is peppermint. Remember the antenna?
Right.
Scrambles are single. Ants leave little singles all over the place. This way to the house, this way to the food, this way, make a left, make a right. The trails, there's certain kind of trails that the ants leave, you see. And so this will not only hide the trails, but the ants they'll back away from that. So once you see where they're coming in, your house, you know, you buy the peppermint soap, and before you even use it, you caulk up the ant. You see where they're coming from. You take about 5 tablespoons of the Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap in a quart sprayer, and you start from the center of the house. You spray whether it be in the bathroom or in the kitchen. That drives them out. So you got all the ants outside. Right, before they can come in, you caulk up any entrances. Remember how they were coming in? You caulk up any entrances, chewing gum, whatever. In the old days, I used to use chewing gum, stick it in there. I would get cayenne pepper, stick it in there. Anything to caulk up the entrances, right? So the ants come back. And if you didn't do anything else, the ants will figure out a way to get back inside the house.
Now, are there typical places where ants normally come in?
That's what we call them, well, they're ant trails. You have to watch them. The ants are very smart. They follow natural paths, whether it be, you know, along the wall, or whether it be leaves or whatever they can get at, you know, in their search for water, food and water. So once you figure out where the ants are coming in, and you use the peppermint soap to drive them out, you caulk up the entrances. Then you place this. You remember where the ants were running around outside on their paths. You place it right on their paths, In essence, what I do is really very simple. I take the honey. I'm always getting honey all over me. And any kind of honey would do. It doesn't have to be organically grown honey or whatever, you know, because honey is honey. And I just take it and I pour it and I give it to them straight. I said, here, guys, have some honey. So I just go like this, give them about like that. And then I also pour it all over the outside. Ants have become very civilized. They can walk right by and not even know it's there. Okay, so I put a little bit on the outside, let them know it's there, and the ants will go right for it. Okay, and if you have an infestation, you have a lot of ants. The first thing you have to do is the ants have to recognize this as a source of food. The scouts will go back, Your Majesty, there's food here, you know, and then they'll come and get it. And they're a little leery of people, and they say, oh, well, I'll try it first. If nobody dies, no ants die, they'll keep coming back. This is a source of food. Then here's where you trick them. So I like using Drax because it's real easy to use. Boric acid can be bought in many places. You can go to the drugstore and buy boric acid as an eye wash. 20-multine borax soap, boric acid. There are other products on the market. Ant Kill basically says boric acid. Okay, I like the Drax because it's real easy, convenient to use. You know?
And this is not an expensive product either.
No, no. And so in essence, what I do, you have to learn to add enough of the boric acid. Ants have 2 stomachs. One they eat, one they take back to the colony. If the stuff is too strong, they'll die right there. An ant will come along and says, boy, look at George, he's dead. I ain't going to touch that stuff. And they leave it alone. They will back away and not even touch it. So you have to fool them into eating the stuff. And so you have to give them just enough so that in essence, what I learned to do is you want to give them just enough to give them a little shot like that, see? Okay?
It's about a teaspoon?
Not even a teaspoon. Not even a teaspoon. And you stir it up with a with a spoon or a stick or something. You don't really want to use your finger and stuff because then you inadvertently will lick it. You don't want to eat the stuff, you see. But this stuff is made on purpose. If you ate this whole thing, you can't die. That's the law. You can't be made so that it's toxic enough to do. You have to follow the directions and all this stuff around it. You can use this straight, and the ants will go after it, but after a few weeks, they will leave it alone. They say, this is bad, bad news. So what you're doing is you're confusing them, tricking them into eating this stuff. So by mixing it up, the ants will eat it. They'll eat it all up, take it back to their colony. Sooner or later, the queen will get it, and the queen will die. And they'll start the whole process again. The key here is you change. 1 month I use honey. Next month I use molasses. Another month I use regular sugar.
So you change the bait.
Change the bait. So that would, because they always like a different bait. And what I do is I add a little bit more water because they're also looking for water. So I add some water, stir it up, put it back inside, You know, I've learned not to cover it all the way, leave it open a little bit, and these get placed around the four corners of the house wherever the ants were coming. The ants will go in there for a while first. They'll go in there and they'll go in there. Use the peppermint soap inside the house. Keeps them out of the house. They do not love it, like it at all. They hate it.
Peppermint.
It will kill them too. And you'll find that this is I talked about this in a little bit later, but this is a very important tool in controlling all kinds of bugs. So now you have yourself the ant cafes. The ants are going into it. You can see them. There'll be major ants coming into it. One lady said, I swear my ant cafe is moving because it'd be like massive. Have you ever seen a billion ants? A billion ants? It's like, you know, the whole world, the whole thing, the earth is moving and everything, you know. So you have to be persistent with this. Remember the 5 steps. You have to identify where the ants are coming from. You have to caulk up the entrances. You have to set up the ant cafe. And now, then after that, you have to use the peppermint soap. And not only that, you have to take care of this regularly. You know, it depends on your consciousness. I have many customers, and they tell me, let me get this straight, Andy. I'm paying you to feed the ants. I says, yep, you can do it yourself. Oh, no, I'm too busy. I'll pay you to feed the ants. Because a lot of times, all you use the honey or whatever, it's just normal mixture you want to use, ants will go in there. Ants are very important predators in your yard. They'll go after termites, they'll go after other creatures. So here you have your own warriors on your property. You know what happens if you get rid of the ants? All the ants in your place, more ants will move in. You have to start all over again. I don't want you here, I don't want you there, I don't want you here, I don't want you here. So I'd rather have ants I have trained, allies.